Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the Summit 6 qualifiers. Oh my goodness gracious. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys are going to enjoy the broadcast we've had so far today. Earlier on it was Vega Squadron facing off against Fantastic Five. Now it's Vega Squadron facing off against Friends. It's the grand finals of the first phase of the Summit 6 qualifiers. A lot on the line for both of these teams. You obviously make it through the first phase. It gives you a shot as to being one of those top 4 teams to move through the entire European qualifiers. The other teams that are waiting up there for them are all very, very strong players, and I'm pretty interested to see how they deal with it. So let's get right on into the draft, right on into the game. So I try and sort this out. Sorry about any delays that ended up coming about. We were sorting out issues with a couple of the teams. There were some questions about, one team had a best of 5 right before this. That was Friends that played. Vega Squadron just got done with their best of 3, obviously, as well. So both of the teams needed a little bit of time to resolve the issues and work their way out from there. First pick overall is going to be the Oracle from Friends, followed up by the Elder Titan Faceless Void combo, which to me has been basically the strongest combination that I've seen. That maybe a little bit less so than like OD Omni. That was the big other one that really is sort of sweeping the scenes of European Dota in particular. The Chinese scene, I haven't seen as much of the OD Omni, although it's still there from time to time. OD still very much like a strong hero, but Omni Knight not always picked. Let me just get these all looked at and we're good to go. Make sure it's all looking wonderful. Great. So a little bit more about these two squads and what I see as kind of the strongest elements of them. In the previous series, we saw Vega Squadron come out to an early lead in game number 3 in particular, based off of FNG's roaming play early. He moved in with a Kunkka, he made a lot of space, disrupted the Alchemist's farm, was able to shut him down pretty effectively, and not even necessarily shut him down, but just not allow him to snowball out of control. And then that left FN free to farm across the entire rest of the map. He had one of the earliest Lincoln Spheres I've seen in a really long time on a Morphlane, and then built that pretty quickly into an E-Blade and kind of just dismantled from that point forward. Now, if I would say there's a couple of things that were sketchy about that last game, it was, I hate to hate on him too much, but Iceberg's play. And I'm a huge fan of Iceberg. He's one of my favorite players in the scene. I always feel like he puts out something flashy. Back in the day when he was on CIS Rejects, watching him play like an IO Tiny combination with, I think that was back when it was either Vanscore or Gold Black that they were playing together. But either way, it was really good stuff. And the last game, he played a Tinker. Vega Squadron were immensely ahead, and he kind of kept on getting picked off. There were various points and times where it was like he would go in for a big play, try and create space for the rest of his team, and then die for it. And there's been a lot of people that have talked about the need for heroes to farm aggressively at various points in the game, and it didn't really seem like that was one of those points for Iceberg. It also seemed like maybe on the Tinker, that's not the hero that you need to be doing it for, maybe more the Morphling with a greater escape mechanism. But in either case, it ended up working out and Vega Squadron did make it through. But there were a couple of moments like that where the team as a whole for Vega Squadron kind of looked a little bit lost in the late game as far as what they were supposed to be doing. And the other thing is that in the games we've seen of them, they look a lot stronger as the series progresses. They struggle in those initial couple of probably like even just the first 20 minutes of a series, honestly. They've lost in the past 2 games, the first game in a best of 3, and then come back to win the next 2. So maybe now that they've already warmed up a little bit, Vega Squadron will be feeling good going back into this next one. Now, Friends on the other side, I've been really impressed with a number of different things from them. No Fear has been playing a spectacular Oracle over the past couple of days. We've seen Yoku really go ham just on a farming hero, whichever one he wants to take. Morphling has been one of those that he's gone for. I think against an Elder Titan and a Shadow Demon, you can't really afford to take that, and I think that's what Friends are maybe even a little bit concerned about, that having this Faceless Void, all this setup here, Vega Squadron could just take the Morphling for themselves. And I don't think that Friends can take it. I really don't. You've got an ET to take off all your armor. Faceless Void will control you like none other. And then Shadow Demon is kind of just going to be able to create replicates of you that hit you harder than you hit them. But in either case, what we've seen a lot since then is Yoku just getting out of hand. He also did it on the Slark. It was really impressive play there. As far as other things that come out from Friends, they sometimes run a position 4 Pudge. I don't expect that to be the case this time, although they could do it with an Omni Knight as position 3. But they run it with Always Wanna Fly, and he's done a really great job over the past couple of days playing that hero as well. They're going to go back for the Naga Siren. Again, this is a little bit scary, but it fits within the way that Friends likes to play Dota, which I think is just, it's a 4 Protect 1. That's really what it comes down to. Yoku plays these heroes that just get out of hand, and it seemed like a lot of teams haven't had a great success as far as shutting him down. These two teams have looked like the strongest for me out of the qualifiers so far, which makes sense. They're here in the finals. But there's some times where you see a team lose and it feels like they shouldn't have lost that game. And likewise, a team wins and you're like, how the hell did they win that game? That's never been the case with these guys. It's felt to me more like both Vega Squadron and Friends have a very solid lineup that have an idea of how they want to play the game, and then they just execute it efficiently. So I'm curious to see how these two styles sort of pair off against each other. All right, this is something else they did. They would go back and they would pick the Naga Siren in answer to the Faceless Void for the Sleep Disable, and then they would go for a different hard carry instead. So I'm assuming that this is actually going to be a position 3 Omni Knight with a Naga Siren in the supporting role. I could be wrong about that, but that's just the way that I've seen Friends play it. And again, heroes are so versatile nowadays that you can kind of go whatever route you want. But they've run the Naga Siren both with Yoku as well as with Always Wanna Fly, if I'm not mistaken. So interesting things. It fits within the ethos of their build again, though, and the way that they've been designing this draft. I like the Magnus ban.
10 seconds remaining.
Mid. They can still run Naga Siren mid if they want to.
5 seconds
I just don't think
remaining.
that works super well if you have an anti-mage and a Naga Siren farming on your same team.
Radiant
Ban out the
team
Luna. TB is still an option for Vega, which seems like it could be very strong. They could also just, if they want to, have the Faceless Void in the safe lane and get him a lot of farm so he can eventually take down AM and then go for like some strong offlane hero.
10 seconds remaining.
A lot of options still on the
5
table for Vega
seconds
Squadron.
remaining.
And I don't know. I'm not sure if I love the AM pick. I think
Reserve
that
time.
the initial start and getting that Shadow Demon in the 3rd pick put Vega Squadron ahead in the draft. Because now when I'm looking at this, I see a Naga Siren answer the Faceless Void, fine. Omni Knight's going to help them win the team fights. They are going to go back for a Tiny.
Dire team
So
pick.
that will be a mid-Tiny, and I'm assuming an Omni Knight in the off lane. Although they could also just do a dual lane Omni and Naga Siren. If Omni has to go alone into that off lane against, he can just always take Repel as long
10
as the
seconds remaining.
Disruption Stomp combo isn't quick enough. That actually probably is a
5
kill lane.
seconds remaining.
And that's the last pick, Morphlane. So FN certainly has ran circles around previous teams. Feels pretty good. Iceberg Puck. It's interesting, though, because now you have what is... Wait a minute. What are they doing? Friends are doing something funky here. The only thing that's weird about this from Friends, like, again, Omni Knight
10
offlane,
seconds
fine.
remaining.
I'm a little bit surprised that FN actually did go back for the
5
morph lane,
seconds remaining.
because anti-mage traditionally has been a good answer to that morph. But regardless, we'll see how they end up taking it. We are first game in a best of 3. Vega Squadron facing off against Friends. And they certainly have more than a few answers. Tiny heads out on his own little merry way. We see a couple of movements out. They spot Afterlife, who will place down the ward. I don't think that Sioma wants to break this, if possible. And, well, they spot out that he still does have that ward. Movement along the top. And might just drop it right in front of FN. We'll see. Nope, he doesn't drop it. Afterlife. All right, where are you going? Where are you going, mister? They're also wrapping around. Sioma's going to drop one for himself. I don't think that that was spotted. So, good movement around. I think Vega comes out on top there. For anybody that's wondering, it is going to be the No Fear Naga Siren running this just to try and deal with the
30 seconds
the Chronosphere that eventually comes out from Vega Squadron. A nice response to it. And it does look like they might be going at least for that dual aggressive offlane. You got an Omni Knight, a decent amount of regen. No Fear already invested into that poor man's shield, so he's just going to kind of run at them up here and try and mess with the Morphling to the best of his abilities. Spirit goes out. Undershock already trading a couple of hits. They do have Avalanche available, stacking up the poison. Undershock gets the rune, turns now on to FNG. He's going to drop just like that. The Riptide doing enough damage, and they're stacking it up. Undershock is going to pop. They find that kill as well. Sioma the Slayer's wrapped around upon, and he might go down as well. So early game action already happened. Iceberg trying to man up against No Fear. Can he find the kill? He might end up going down himself. The wraparound, always want to fly, doesn't have enough mana. So Iceberg gets away. But man, a lot of action over there for that one little rune. And at the end of the day, they do end up getting the bounty rune for the Tiny, as well as for the Anti-Mage. So, Friends coming out looking pretty good from that one, as Naga Siren denies himself to a creep. So this dual lane up in the top, it's a No Fear Naga, as we mentioned. Afterlife on the Omni Knight. They're going to try and get at least a little bit aggressive and think about making some pulls happen. That one was not blocked out by the Dire side, so they'll at least be able to get some type of contention there, as well as stacking up the camps. But this is just what you do with that Naga Siren. Poor Man's Shield already up and online means she's taken very little right clicks from the Shadow Demon. And this is going to be, I think, a very good lane for them. Meanwhile, top, or rather bottom, Mag is going to be hampered in continuously. Always want to fly ready to and just sort of dive him here, although he's going to be able to get all of this experience pretty uncontested. Iceberg, meanwhile, try to contend with the Undershock Tiny. Hero that he knows pretty well. So Yoku, I think that by and large he should have an okay game, as long as like the Faceless Void doesn't get completely out of hand, and same with the Puck. That's kind of the thing that I'm looking for is, oh my god, already FNG dropped low. He might just die to that. The Hadouken helps him out. Movement speed, 350 versus 358. I think that they've almost got him. He's so close to going down. Afterlife finds the kill with one last blast. Purification to keep him alive, but he will finally die. Omni Knight gets the kill, but Morphling takes it back in exchange. In the meantime, in the mid lane, Iceberg just even with that Tiny on CS. This is more like the style of CIS Dota I was hoping to see. Always on a fly, DD rune, ready to zone out Mag to the best of his abilities. Always frustrating to deal with that. But Mag does have the poor man's shield, and the wraparound not going to be able to find him. And always want to fly just on top of him. Knows where he's going. Couple more hits. Does have to contend with 2 points in Bash as Naga Siren denies herself to some creeps. Get back to lane a little bit quicker. And Shadow Demon denies himself to creeps. Get back to base a little bit quicker. Everybody's killing themselves. Did he get his bottle filled? It doesn't look like it did. Oh, he did get it filled. So we get one free bottle charge out of that. Nice. 3 minutes in. Currently, the Anti-Mage is on top of the CS mark. Meanwhile, Morphling is getting not heavily contested, but at least annoyed in this top lane. And switching over to full Agi, he's going to salve back up and try to remain topped off. Potential seems like it's not super high now. They'll just try and do whatever they can to disrupt the farm of the Morphling. It goes further and further. And I mean, with Afterlife already level 3, he hasn't taken any points in Repel, so this is going to be pretty aggressive play from him. I don't know if he can really run down the ET, though. It's kind of a tough one to make happen. And bottom, I mean, Yoku is continually just messing with Mag here. He does need to be a little bit careful. Always Want to Fly comes in, hits the Purifying Flames, and no way to time walk off the damage. Just like that. Naga's going to come in and send in those illusions just right at Sioma the Slayer. A very frustrating one indeed. Trying to Riptide, chase down, break the clarity. Fine and dandy. They do turn this back around. Stomp is going to come out now. Ends up turning the purification damage against him and waveform forward. Afterlife pops the stick charges. Is going to get the salve off, but immediately broken by that range creep. Oh, that's a value right there. They're still trying to bring down FNG, but they found him. Another kill going the direction of the Naga Siren. Meanwhile, mid, diving Undershock. Iceberg finding him. Not quite enough right-click damage, and instead is going for the Courier, while simultaneously bottling up. Very contentious mid lane here, as Iceberg's going to take a couple pot shots on his way out the door. Does have another toss in 2 seconds, but not going to go for it. And Mag, meanwhile, looks like he might try to deny himself as well. Going to go back for the Iron Talon. I don't know if he actually does. He might just finish jungling this and head back home. Well, 6 kills so far, 5 minutes. As far as who's coming out ahead, you can see F.R.I.E.N.D.S just a little bit on the up and up because of those couple of kills, but nothing to write home about as of yet. Catches the Avalanche. Meanwhile, Shadow Demon kills himself again. 3 deaths to this camp. They're starting to stack up a little bit. Meanwhile, hard for Always Want to Fly to contend with FNG here. Move in, Stomp is there. Oh, puck in the area. They drop the Dream Coil. Always Want to Fly. Oh, they find the kill. Yoku hops in at the clutch and also gets the haste rune. Now, FNG in some trouble. He's not going to end up going down. But nonetheless, they find that kill. Puck, not what he wanted. Oh, Anti-Mage just gets to punch Mag a couple of times. So, really good rotation in there. Yoku helping out his buddy, Mr. Oracle, and that's well worth the exchange. Well, no fear. When it just try and remain tanky as all get up. Currently seeing at 8 armor. It's just great for him. And still, Anti-Mage leads the last hit charts. I mean, the fact of the matter is that you haven't really been able to contest his farm almost at all with this Faceless Void. And you look up here on the top side and they're messing with FN. My God! They just find the kill. Naga Siren there in time. You did not. Oh man, FN. Oh, you were not prepared for the 3 points there. That should not have happened. That is far too greedy. Oh, that really sort of puts the nail in the coffin as far as who's ahead in these safe lanes. And now it feels like Vega kind of need to react because, well, Morphling is scary. Anti-Mage, oh, look at how low FN gets. He's just been switching over to straight up Agi the entire game, and that's how he was able to get ahead previously. But Afterlife is punishing him in a significant way here. Oh, man. Meanwhile, FNG. Oh, Dream Coil to save the day. But nonetheless, this is feeling more and more like Undershock will be able to get out of here. They have the defensive disruption there, and now turned upon 2 stacks. Fairy Fires trying to walk away from this one. Purification's going to keep Undershock alive and dodges the Stomp as well as the Repel, keeping him nice and sturdy. So the support's coming in the clutch and saving those day. FNG is going to have to head back home, as does the Tiny. And still, all of this action, some of it's top lane, some of it's mid lane, nothing down bottom. They are not contesting Yoku's farm, and you leave an Anti-Mage to get what he wants, you're gonna have a bad time. Look at him. He's just sitting on 400 HP here. He might just go down again. Purification with the false promise. There's the kill. They realize he's going to do this over and over again. So one invis rune, and that's a kill rune suddenly. Oh, FN. I mean, when do you stop? When does it stop? Like, there's a lot of burst damage on this lineup. Take a look at the net worth now, and from what was a Morphlane, doing pretty well, has fallen oh so far. This is the rotation that they've got to get, and they need to find this kill in a bad way. Chronosphere is available. Yoku, if he gets disrupted, it's going down, and it does look like that's probably going to happen. There's the Chronosphere catch, trying to find this kill. Stomp to fall. No, the Naga Siren's there. Oh, no fear, saving the day. Yoku not going to go down. And now with Chronosphere down, no fear comes in the clutch. Oh, this is looking really rough for Vega.
Dire's middle tower
This is looking really, really rough. No fear, just already level 6. Interrupts that Chronosphere. Meanwhile, Omni again? What? How does this keep on happening?
Dire's top tower is under
I don't know what is going on with Vega right now, but it is a struggle and a half. They lose the Shadow Demon. Friends are having none of it. Man. I mean, at a certain point you just think, like, maybe I shouldn't go back to lane with full Agi. That's 3 times now that this Omni Knight's been able to find a kill with the Purification combo. Does he have something? He bought some raindrops, and now he's sitting at a little bit higher HP, but I don't know. This is... I don't know. Well, Yoku always want to fly. They're going to move in, jump on top of Sioma the Slayer, I believe. There's the jump forward, a couple bits of damage, and there's the pop. Yoku finds it. And it feels like Friends are just going to run away with this one. Like, how do you stop it now?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yoku currently sitting with almost his Battle Fury completed, 6,000 net worth. It's one thing for the anti-mage to be finishing the Battle Fury like really early if your Morphlane's getting pretty farmed, but an entirely another thing if it's just been like just kind of devastation.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, bottom lane, Iceberg is getting closer to his Blink Dagger. That's something going their way. I just got to keep checking this area out. FN, oh, you got to be careful, buddy. He still isn't like switching over to strength almost at all. Oh God, all right, yeah, just play it safe. You don't need to die anymore. Don't go down. Afterlife is just bullying FN. Look at this. They're bringing in No Fear. They might be able to find the kill. Do they have a net? They have a point net. FN's getting controlled. They have another Purification in 1 second. He's out of mana. Oh, slowed down, right-clicked. Where's his help? Where's his team? They're not here. They're not stopping. They're finally going to start rotating into this. Mag is in the area and trying to find the kill. Riptide. All right. They might have baited it out, but Purification, turn around. There's the Avalanche Toss combo. They have the sleep now, and they can just TP out. They don't care. They don't give a hoot. They kill off the Morphlane and just walk away with murder. They chase him into the woods and bully him in a back alley. And now the Repel, Afterlife, just saunters away. Happy as a clam. And Yoku has his Battle Fury.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures
I don't understand.
are fortified.
Like, there's so many ways that didn't have to happen. There's so many ways that didn't have to happen. But maybe a little bit tired after the first best of 3 that they had to play today.
Radiant's top tower
And this is what I said
under
at the start. Like, Vega Squadron have consistently lost the first game, like, in pretty bad fashion early on, and then they come back and win the next 2. So I don't know if that's going to happen again, but Iceberg suddenly, well, scouted out. They do have the jump forward for him now. In some trouble. He might just go down too. All All right, Dream Coil pop. They do throw out the stomp, not going to connect. So Iceberg gets away that time, but again, playing with fire, flirting with danger.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
An Omni Knight at this point with an Aether Lens, Arcane Boots, full magic wand completed.
Healing shock.
He is a terrifying force to contend with.
Dire's structures are
The Smoke Ink was hoping to find the anti-mage and the ping. There's a lot of pings. That's how you can tell when there's some problems going on. There's a whole heck of a lot of pings. The ward gets dropped a little bit too late, and now they want to go onto the back lines. Iceberg saying that always want to fly is there. He doesn't have a TP scroll off cooldown, and they use the scan, realize somebody's over there. Iceberg throws out the illusory orb, spots out always want to fly, and well, doesn't go onto him. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god, Dream Coil off cooldown. They wanted it really badly. And now mid lane, Mag, he's setting up for this. If they could find a big Chronosphere, this would be huge, but no song for 30 seconds, there's definitely a possibility. Throw the repel onto the Tiny, and now turn onto FNG. He's gone. Ulti comes out as well. They have the Chronosphere, but don't want to drop it yet. Mag pump faking, but not going to go for it. Undershock dropping low. Now they have the Purification tossed down. Mag's in trouble. They have a repel onto Undershock. They just walk away. Friends, in demonstrative fashion, are just dismantling and taking apart this Vega Squadron lineup.
Radiant's
This is
bottom
really
tower
rough.
is under attack.
10,000 net worth lead at 15 minutes. 7,500 experience.
Dire's
And
top tower
Yoku
under
is never
attack.
going to stop farming. Hasn't died so far this game. 164 last hits. And looking to eclipse that 10,000 net worth mark. Oh, almost catches Iceberg there. Not quite on time. Avalanche back off cooldown in 2, but not going to extend for it as the AM kills off the ET up top. My goodness. Just everywhere you look, friends are getting aggressive. They realize how much control they have over this game at this point, and there's not a lot that Vega can do to stop it. 13-3. Oh, over in the jungle, Mag's gonna have to TP jump out of there. Wow! Wow! Oh wow! Oh Vega! Oh, that's not good. Oh man! Not so friendly anymore. Ooh. That. Sorry, man. I can't be friends with you right now. Jeez. Oh. Well, we'll see what happens in game number 2. Stick around, everybody. Friends versus Vega Squadron, the grand finals. They got themselves here. Can they push it any further? We'll find out in just a little bit. I've been Lyrical Dota. You can follow me off of Twitter if you feel so inclined, but make sure you keep on following Beyond the Summit as well. Summit 6 qualifiers. We'll be back in a bit.